Yes, people, welcome back to Transfer Talk. Now, I know how much you have loved this show. Some of you not so much, a little bit of hate in the comments. It's not true, it's a transfer rumour show. That's what it's been every day since the last window. Alright, and a lot of them came true. Remember they used that one? Yeah, said that months ago. Nobody else did, right? I suppose if you throw enough shit at the wall, one of them's going to stick. But you know what I mean? Something along those phrases. But Newcastle, alright, there's still a couple of days left of this transfer window, then Transfer Talk will be over. Alright, so enjoy them or detest them while they last. But I tell you what, the names are not stopping. If anything, they're getting bigger. They're getting more of them. There's more names, I think, today with Newcastle than there has been any other day this window. It is mental. And this is on the back of Eddie Howe saying in his press conference today that he's not sure if we will be adding any more players. He was asked would he be happy if the window closed now, the squad he's got. Obviously he's going to say yes and that. But he said, you know, we're not closed yet. He said we're not shutting up shop just yet. But he says he's not sure if anybody else will come. And he was definitely downplaying it. But take that with a pinch of salt from Eddie Howe. He's always like that. And he's always quite clever and quite shrewd and conservative in his interviews. So he's not exactly going to go, yeah, we're thinking about him on loan and we're going to put a bid in for this guy. It's not going to happen. So obviously he's going to say that. Now I know that Newcastle are still trying to sign players. It's quite reported actually. I mean, Romano, the names we've touched on, Fabrizio Romano is openly said that we're interested in Álvarez. We're going to get onto that. Obviously, we had the interview with Keith Downey the other day. He said that we are after Conor Gallagher. He said that in the Magpie Channel exclusive. We are after Conor Gallagher. He's one on loan, so you can go back and watch that, and we'll talk about that in a bit. And Newcastle are still trying in other areas. They're still trying for 2 more players. At least one, I think, will come to St James's Park in the next couple of days. Now, the transfer window closes on Thursday. That is deadline day. It's 11 PM at night. We're going to have loads of good stuff coming for you. Wait, some big news coming on that of what we've got planned for deadline day. But you'll have to stay tuned to Magpie Channel TV for that. But as always, any transfer news, I will be breaking it. So what we're going to do now, before we get into the names that are linked, and there's a very exciting one that is just broke. I'm glad I did this video now, because in the last hour or so, it's been CODY GAKPO from PSV, and what a signing that would be if we managed to get him. But again, give us a minute, we're going to get into him and about fucking 6 or 7 other names that have been linked with Newcastle United just today and obviously in recent days and weeks. Football Prizes sponsoring this video. Football Prizes, who are giving away an absolute belter. Signed Newcastle shirt from last season in a frame for a couple of quid, for less than the price of a coffee. Pretty much easy, isn't it? Definitely cheaper than a beer. You know what I mean? Cheaper than a McDonald's. You could win a signed framed football shirt from Newcastle United. So the link is in the description for that. Check it out and good luck. So tell you what we're going to do. We're going to start with none of the names that I've mentioned because this is a fresh one today. Ainsley MaitlandNiles. Someone who was a very highly linked with Newcastle in the past. Last January he got his loan move to AS Roma. He only made 8 appearances for Roma. Didn't really kick off there. He also went on loan to West Bromwich Albion when he was linked with Newcastle the summer before that. That didn't really quite work out well, but it was West Brom. I thought we'd missed out on that one. I think I remember at the time doing a video and saying, I think that's a good signing for West Brom, but again, they didn't really do anything that time in the league, did they? So can you really blame Maitland-Niles? Now, Maitland-Niles, his career really bounced and kicked off. You know, it was a big spring from when Maitland-Niles first started at Arsenal. He started there young, was getting in the side, playing regularly. He's even made like 5 appearances for England, the senior squad, Gareth Southgate's team. He's been playing for England a few times. He's played for England all throughout the youth levels. And he was such a promising talent. He was very highly thought of. Loads of people fancied him, wanted to get him signed for their club. And now there seems to be a lack of suitors, so that's not a good sign. Nottingham Forest apparently were meant to get him and they've rejected it because they were not signing other players like Renan Lodi and everyone else under the sun. What's Forest now signed 20 players now. So I'm surprised they didn't take Maitland-Niles. But they went on to other targets. He's linked with other Premier League clubs like Southampton and Bournemouth. Newcastle now linked with him today. And this is probably off the back of the revelation that Emil Kraft is going to be ruled out for 6 to 9 months with the ACL injury that he picked up in the Carabao Cup last week at Tranmere Rovers. That's a devastating blow for Emil Kraft, who obviously was fine in form at Newcastle, turned the tide, turned things around, became a respectable, decent player. So now do we look at filling that void? You know, you got Kieran Trippier there, who's meant to be fit for tomorrow night. There was question marks with whether he'll be making the Liverpool trip. He's apparently fit. You've got Javi Manquillo, who was available to leave. He might have to stay now. Nobody had came in for him, so he may have to stay. But Maitland-Niles has popped up now as an alternative, as we have officially entered the race to sign him according to Sky Sports. And And I'm not against this one, to be honest. Even like I've said, he's petered off. His career hasn't really taken off as you'd expect or continue on that trajectory that it was at the Gunners. But there's definitely a player in there. There's definitely potential in there. He just needs a run in the team. But I don't think he'd get that at Newcastle unless Trippier got injured. Although, what I like about Maitland-Niles, and this is why I would take him at Newcastle, very unprofessional that, just mute them notifications, is his versatility, alright? He's like a James Perch style player, isn't he? He can play in 3 or 4 positions. He can play centre mid, right mid, CDM, right back. He's even played left back. He can play all over the shop. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I would take Maitland-Niles. That's why I would have a shot at him. I'd get him in. I think he'd be a good squad player. The way our injuries are stacking up, we need better options off the bench. He can push for a place. And you'd hope that he would try his best when he came here and give his all. So Maitland-Niles, I'd take him. Now then, the name we touched on the other day is Edson Álvarez, the Mexican midfielder from Ajax. We're linked with a 40 million bid for him. Did a video on him on Saturday night. And Fabrizio Romano has came out and said Newcastle are interested in him. So that is true. They are in talks with him. They're seeing what can be done because they would love to do a deal, but they just don't really want to spend that much cash after splashing the cash on Alexander Isak. So if they could get a deal with Ajax where it may be £30 million or again the instalment plan, that could be something that could be worked on in the next couple of days and could just about get done for deadline day. You know, that could be something that's materialising over the coming days. I mean, it would be an unbelievable signing that, like Álvarez, that CDM, that balance that would give that midfield. Especially now we've got Bruno missing as well. It's shown the weakness in midfield for me. It really has, you know. I really want Willock to kick on, but he should have scored the other day, and you just think, oh, there's something missing there. Sean Longstaff, for me, he's just not good enough, especially going forward. Shelby was just hitting form, and now he's out until Christmas, New Year time. And then, like I say, you look around and you've got an injury to Bruno or Joe Linton, and you're knackered. You're playing Sean Longstaff in that in there. You're playing Elliot Anderson coming off the bench, who did a very good job, but you're putting a lot of pressure on people's shoulders that, you know, aren't ready for it, really. I mean, Anderson I thought looked brilliant. I'd rather him play than Sean Longstaff, to be honest with you. But the point being is I think we need better proven quality players there now. If our ambition really is to push for that top 6, top 7 this season, then we need a better midfield and competition off the bench. Because you look at that bench, for me, our starting 11 on paper is class if everyone's fit. The problem is you're never going to keep everyone fit. It's just impossible. And we're already having a injury crisis at the start of the season. So if we're looking around and thinking, right, we've made a great start of the season, we've got Isak in now to back him up. If we get Álvarez, we can really push for it. Like, we can really, really challenge for them European places for me. And that might be in the back of the mind of Eddie Howe. I'm sure he'll be knocking on Dan Ashworth's door, pleading for him to do so. And Ashworth will be working out if it can be done, FFP and whatnot. So you could see that happen. I honestly would not be surprised if you've seen that happen. For me, if I had to say yes or no, I would say no in this window. I could see that happening in January if he doesn't go elsewhere. He's got a lot of teams interested in him. But I think most likely for me would be like a loan sign in this window. But Álvarez, if the money was right, if they could do a deal, you might just see it happen. Now let's get into the juicy one for me, the tasty one that's just broke late this afternoon is CODY GAKPO from PSV. And now this would be an unbelievable sign as well. This would just be absolutely unreal. This would completely change the dynamic of our front three. Now, I'm surprised we weren't in for Gakpo already. Everybody's been in for him. Manchester United have been in for him, but now they've changed their mind since they're getting Anthony from Ajax. Gakpo's stats are class. He's a really, really tricky player. He's brilliant eye for goal. His goal contributions, his assist is off the charts. We'll go through them in a second. But CODY GAKPO at 23 years old, playing for the Netherlands already, scoring for the Netherlands already. He is going to be brilliant in a couple of years' time, but he pretty much already is brilliant, but he's going to be next level class for me. He's going to be an elite player in a few years' time, CODY GAKPO. So if you could wrap him up now, that would do bits for us. And if you think our front three, if we could keep Isak, Gakpo and Maxi, players in and around the early mid-20s, well, Isak and Gakpo are under 23 and Maxi's 25, if you could keep that front three together and build with it over a couple of years, that would be sensational. Because obviously Wilson off the bench, injury and stuff, but Gakpo, man, I'd be absolutely buzzing with that. And Southampton have recently had a bid rejected of £21 million for CODY GAKPO, so PSV are willing to sell. Apparently they'll accept 25 to 28 million pounds. Steal. I'm telling you, absolute steal that. Golden balls. We need to get on that. We need to get your golden balls out, Dan Ashworth. Manor Staveley, golden balls. Yeah, we need to be on this. I'm telling you now, if we can get this deal done this window, this is a game changer as well. This is an absolute game changer. Let's just put the specs on so I can back up what I'm saying about Cody Gakpo. And like I say, apparently Arsenal are interested now. This was on Sky Sports News as well, by the way. Melissa Reddy was on 2 hours ago now, so it's 7 o'clock now, around 5ish. She was on Sky Sports saying that Arsenal are looking at the possibility of signing Cody Gakpo from PSV. Southampton have had a bit rejected. Newcastle and Leeds are all in the race to sign him. So Newcastle's name just being popped in there out of the blue, this one, Cody Gakpo. And like, hopefully it will be like the Isak thing where there's 2 days left of the window. Get in there, get a deal done, you know, send the boys over to Holland, get on the DFDS ferry now, it'll just about get you there for the morning, get him signed, you know what I mean? But let's have a look at these stats. Cody Gakpo, 6'2", can play across the front three. He's been playing for the first team. He's a PSV Academy graduate. He's been playing for them for a few years now. Don't want to bang on the drum about him too much because this is just transfer talk, it's not just a video on him, but 30 goals in 95 games for PSV. You know, 30 goals in 95 games from the wing. Exceptional. 2 goals already for Holland in 70 appearances for them. He's played in all the youth teams for them. You look at his stuff here, you know, he's usually on the left wing, to be fair, and cuts in on his right, so it looks like we're probably going to move Maxi over at the right anyway, because that's what Isak does, so there's lots of things to work out there. But his dribbling is a nightmare for defenders, you know, he loves to take them on. He's already scored in the Eredivisie this year. 3 goals, 3 assists in 3 matches this season so far. Wow. Honestly, this is a baller. This is a player. If we could get Cody Gakpo, I would be all over that. Please, man, let's get it. That would sort our attacking problems right out. And again, off the bench, instead of looking at the likes of Jacob Murphy, you're looking at Gakpo. You know what I mean? You're looking at, if it was Wilson on the bench, Isak on the bench, Maximin on the bench. Options. Options is what we're after here. That's what we need. And this, Gakpo, wow. If Southampton or Leeds get him, I'll be good. I'll get him in my fantasy team because he's gonna be class. He really is. Quite a few other names just to quickly bash through for me. One that's been linked is free agent Ross Barkley. No, we can move on very swiftly from that. Ross Barkley, when he went that loan spell at Villa, didn't impress. He's done nothing for ages. I think he ended up going to Rangers or America or something. Honestly, I think he'll go to a team like that in the MLS. He's just not at it. Wasted his career. What a player he was at Everton. Never got going at Chelsea. Nah, I wouldn't take Ross Barkley. Like, nah, no thank you. Another one that's been linked is Dendonki from Wolves. He's been linked. He's a defensive midfielder, so he'd fit the bill of what we're after. Apparently he is available for loan or sale from Wolves after they've made a couple of recruits in midfield this summer. Dendonka, I wouldn't set as a light, wouldn't get us too excited, but I'd probably take him. I think he's a solid Premier League player. I think he's done okay. As a squad player, I'd probably have him. I think he could be a good option. Again, you could get him doing the defensive duties to allow the likes of Bruno Guimaraes to get more forward and make them goals happen that he did last season. So, Dendonka, I wouldn't say no, but I wouldn't be like, yeah, we're saying Dendonka. Do you know what I mean? Like that would be the reaction, actually. That was a fucking pitiful year, wasn't it? It wouldn't be like, yes, get him, we've signed it. It would be a, yay, Dendonka. I mean, it'd be alright. It'd be alright. I'd take him, but meh. And lastly, and there's probably a couple of names I've missed out, to be fair, but lastly, the videos went on for a while. Lastly, Conor Gallagher from Chelsea now. Palace, who he was on loan at last year, have had a bid rejected yesterday, apparently, of nearly £30 million. Patrick Vieira was talking highly of him again in his press conference. He wasn't exactly saying that he was after him, but obviously mentioned the fact he was on loan and saying that he would love him back and stuff, to be fair. So, Conor Gallagher, like I said, Keith Downey did say we were in for him, we would love him on loan. Depends if Chelsea can sign someone else. Chelsea probably would prefer the loan than the big money that Palace are offering, because they obviously see a player in there. He started most of the games for Chelsea this season. But it depends if Chelsea do make a move in the market for someone else. Gallagher, I'd love him on loan. We would try and get him on loan. But if he's living in London, well, he's not, if he does live in London, if he likes to stay in London is what I was trying to say. If he wants to stay in London, the option of Palace is there. There'll be loads of other teams after him. He could just do that. He could take that, couldn't he? So that would be my fear. I think he'll move. I think this will be a deadline day move for Gallagher, but I would probably see it to another London team, to be fair, to a Palace or someone else that's interested in him. But yeah, you never know though. If Newcastle did put the hat in the ring, surely with our project and where we're going, I mean, I think Crystal Palace are a brilliant side, by the way. I think Patrick Vieira's got them playing some great stuff. It's going to be a tough game for us on the weekend, but surely we finished above Crystal Palace this season. We've got more about us than Crystal Palace, I think. So if Gallagher wanted to move up north, that could happen. It still could happen, that one. I don't think he'll stay at Chelsea. So he could come. We could get him on loan. We'll wait and see. Do you know what I mean? We'll wait and see on that one. Like, we'll wait and see with everything. Just a couple of days left of the window. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments of all the players' names that I've linked in this video. For me, if I had to choose one, I've put myself on the spot. Oh man, I wish I hadn't done that. I'd go Álvarez, I think. Gakpo as well would be really exciting. Maybe Gakpo actually, but then again we've got Isak now. If people are fit, Isak, Wilson, Maximin. I'll go Álvarez. Yeah, maybe, I think. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the players' names that have been linked with Newcastle United. Who do you think we will sign in the last couple of days of this transfer window? Cheers for watching, everyone. Smash the like button, subscribe to my channel TV, and enjoy yourself.